The power of negative space, when used correctly, can help you create logos that tell stories within stories, posters that make you question reality, and marketing that actually works. Firstly, take a look at this logo right here. Most people know it, of course, but you're likely looking at it and thinking something's off here, something's not quite right with this logo. That's because the Harry Potter logo here has now been transformed into something called an ambigram. And it's the first cool way that we can actually use negative space as designers. You see, the cool thing about ambigram designs is that watch as I flip the logo around like this. Ambigram designs make use of negative space so they can be the exact same design when flipped over. This isn't just a cool trick you can add to your designs, it's actually a really neat kind of form of symmetry. You can literally have a ton of fun with these things, and here's a quick example of how to make one. The trick is to use negative space to create lettering that has two meanings to it. So of course, let's just outline and then group these characters first. I'm going to try and make the F and the I resemble an upside down Y, which means I do need to get rid of the dot above the I. But yeah, it's actually quite fun playing around with these typography logos when thinking about ambigrams. It's getting back to the creative and experimental side of graphic design, which is always nice. So I'm just using the direct selection tool here to manipulate the anchor points on my lettering, and then to extend the F here, which is also the lower part of the Y, when flipped over of course. Speaking of which, I don't actually need this Y anymore. So you can probably see where I'm going with this. And yes, this looks decent right now, but the Z's or the Z's aren't perfectly square, which makes the logo a little bit off and not perfectly matched when flipped. So I'm going to adjust one of them so it's perfectly square, and then duplicate it over. So by using negative space in and around the F and the I, we've created the ability for a shape to be seen as a Y and also as an F and an I in one single logo. Pretty cool, huh? This next negative space technique is used by a lot of graphic designers, and you can start using it right now on your designs. Take for example this here. This ultra clever design actually depicts two people, and yeah, they're pretty famous people actually, and props to you if you can detect who they are in a few seconds. But this is the art of using negative space to create dual interpretation, and it's not just done for fun and for art. Take a look at this ice cream marketing design here. It's one of those illusions that once you see it, you can't unsee it, if that makes sense. Initially I totally saw two people, but now I mainly just see the ice cream and the starry night. The art of using negative space on dual interpretation comes down to placement pretty much. For example, here is a nice hand lettering style logo for the infamous Tour de France. And we can see the sun at the end of the France lettering just chilling. That is, until we move it up to here, and then it doubles up as part of a racing bike and the person riding it. It might actually take you quite a bit of time to get things right with this kind of design, and also it does require a creative mind to think about the design concept in the first place. But when done correctly, they simply look awesome and stay in the memories of people who view them. And as a graphic designer, being able to create something that stays in the minds of people is a hugely powerful skill to have, and shouldn't be underestimated. On this channel, I often talk about the importance of getting the viewers of your graphic designs to feel something emotionally, something that links back to the brief and the research. But it can sometimes, or often, be really difficult to encapsulate emotion on a design. That is, until you discover the next technique based around negative space. Emotional expression when matched with negative space is a very bold and easy way to actually get an emotional response from your audience, as you can see on this logo for a charity-based organization in Nigeria. Well, it's actually a deconstructed logo until, that is, I move them back together where they should be. Now we have Africa in the middle, but also the little boy is looking upward, which leads to the emotion of hope. And hope is a huge part of this organization's branding. We get a warm and a hopeful emotion simply by looking at this very clever design. And then here for a vodka brand, we see the bottle in the trees, of course. But reading into the emotional side of things a little bit more, we can grasp that the design is pushing the idea that vodka is natural and clean, or at least this one is. Vodka is notoriously better the cleaner and the clearer it is, and so just look how clear and fresh the bottle looks being resembled in the gap in these trees. The emotion to the viewer here is one of appreciation of quality. Building in emotional expression mixed with negative space often incorporates storytelling into a design. Here we have 3 mini stories presented to us in 3 negative space designs. The headphones bring us to solitude and refuge from the loud and annoying aspects of life, or at least that's what it's trying to say. And by the way, this design is just awesome on so many levels, you must agree. And then there's this clever design that tells a story of losing one's teeth due to smoking. Hush. And that literally uses negative space being revealed around the mouth. But now, it's time to take things to super creative and interesting lengths, and we're going to learn how to make clients or viewers of your designs go, ah, wow, that's super cool. So this technique is quite similar to dual interpretation, but it goes a little bit further. With most dual interpretation designs, the viewer will understand the meaning within 1 or 2 seconds, just like that. It's an instant recognition. But with the technique of hidden meaning negative space, it can take the viewer multiple seconds, even sometimes minutes, and then eventually they catch the meaning. It might be a cryptic logo as seen with the Toyota brand, and that's where it spells out the letters within one symbol, all because of the use of negative space. Another similar logo is the Toblerone logo that has a hidden bear in the mountains, but it doesn't have to be exclusive to logo designs. Take this poster here. What do you see hidden, if anything? Well, if I go ahead and reveal the logo at the bottom right, perhaps now things are more clear. Sometimes people will get the meaning faster than others, but if you can somehow add a hidden meaning into your design, only when the brief allows for it of course, then your design will become elevated in the minds of your viewers. And speaking of your viewers, if you really want to climb into the minds of your audience of your graphic designs, then click the video on screen, but until next time, design your future today. Peace.